Hi everyone, in this video I would like to talk about currency indices. Currency indices can be an effective tool how to analyze and forecast markets. They filter out all the noise and help you to understand what is actually happening in the markets and which currencies are the strongest and the weakest. The most popular currency index is the US dollar index. It was created by the US Federal Reserve in 1973. US dollar index is a geometric average of 6 foreign currencies. So you can see them here on the screen. And however, the US dollar index has lots of disadvantages. First of all, the currency weights are from 1973. They are no longer relevant to the current situation. And the second of all is that the weight of the euro is almost 60%. So when you analyze the US dollar index, it's basically the same as if you analyze euro dollar. There is no much difference. The correlation between the US dollar index and the euro is really high. And this is just because 60% of the basket is based on euro. So there's an alternative approach, which we use in Finteria markets. We think that the basket needs to be more efficient and each currency needs to be weighted in the same manner against 8 major currencies, 8 developed countries. So we use the same approach, the same formula of geometric average, but in case of just these currencies, we actually use 8 major currencies. And by doing like this, we actually get a more efficient, a more relevant US dollar index for every of 8 major currencies. So you can find the description on the website in the section currency baskets, but you can also open the MT5 demo account or live account, and you will find those indices in the platform. So usually how I do, I've created a different template, which is called currency indices, and I only have currency indices on my chart. This really helps me to analyze and understand and compare currencies with each other. So here you can see that I have the US dollar index, euro, British pound, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and Canadian dollar. So basically 8 charts, and I can easily compare and understand which currencies are the strongest and which one are the weakest. And first of all, when I start my analysis, I try to understand visually which currencies are really the strongest and which currencies have bad charts and good charts. So here immediately I can say that euro looks like the weakest currency. You can see a really strong negative trend on the euro. We can see really long bearish candles. Right now it's in the consolidation phase. Another interesting situation, we can see that the Swiss franc is also like trading sideways, but it's falling right now. You can see that the Swiss franc is much lower. At the same time, euro is stronger. So for me, the situation looks like as if the Swiss National Bank is making interventions and actually buying euros in the current environment. So probably this rebound that we saw in the market, this is happening due to interventions of the Swiss National Bank. So let's also look at some other currencies which also look more bearish or trade sideways. One of them is the British pound. You can see that here the tendency was negative. However, right now we have a really strong upside momentum on the British pound. Yesterday, there was a really long bullish candle. Right now, we can see that it was much more difficult for the pound to move higher. Another currency that trades sideways is the US dollar. Still, the US dollar is really strong at the moment, but generally, if you compare the previous tendencies, you can see that the US dollar is not really moving that much higher. The movements are still limited. It's not really extremely bullish situation. Maybe this is positive for the US dollar because it means that it can actually move even higher. So the next currency that looks a bit more bullish, generally, I would say the Australian dollar. You can see the formation. Each high is higher, each low is lower. But right now we're at an important point. You can see there is some correction on the Australian dollar in case if we just move and actually create a much lower low, probably this will look more sideways. Right now, I would say generally this looks quite positive for the Australian dollar. And there are 2 more currencies which look bullish. So it's first of all the I forgot to mention that another currency which is very bearish is the Japanese yen. You can see it here below. There was a really strong bearish trend on the Japanese yen before till basically mid of October, and then we saw a correction, and right now there's a potential that the Japanese yen may actually fall further. So speaking of the most bullish currencies, generally the charts look quite good for the Canadian dollar. I would say Canadian dollar looks much better. There's a good consolidation. There was a strong trend before, good consolidation, and now there's opportunity to break above and move much higher. The situation on the New Zealand dollar is actually slightly less bullish. We see that consolidation was longer. We moved actually lower, but overall, I would say the chart looks also quite good for the New Zealand dollar. So you can also, like here, I'm using the daily charts, but you can do the same with 4-hour charts, 1-hour time frame. So this really helps you to go more into the details and understand the tendencies, identify which currencies are the strongest and the weakest. So this is very helpful. So I really recommend and advise you to open an account, download MT5 platform, open the platform and create a separate template for currency indices. And by doing so, you will be able to switch whenever you need from one template to another and easily compare and understand which currencies are the strongest and the weakest in the market. And on the top of that, you can also apply technical indicators, technical analysis. You can draw support resistance lines, so you can really go into the in-depth analysis of each currency index. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to get more videos like this one, please leave a comment below the video and give us your thumb ups. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a nice day.